was an honor for me that I was approached to do Baloo's character. And of course, when I saw the film and saw portions of it and read about it, I said it's definitely more textured and more layered, so it made it much more exciting. And of course, it became a bit, I have to be very honest, because there was, whenever I got stuck and because you see, obviously, we're used to having the director when we are doing the voiceover, so I was, if he was not there physically present, but Andy's voice was there. So whenever I got stuck, I would hear his voice again and again and again and again and understand what is he thinking, how is he doing it. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. So because it became a great reference for me whenever I got stuck. You see, my interpretation was there, but there are times when you need someone to bounce. So this was a great time. I would listen to it 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, and understand it, and then go and do it. So that made it much more exciting for me. Yeah.
I think what's wonderful about the story that Rudyard Kipling had written is that it appeals to every age group through time. When I was a kid, in the early 80s, and we watched Disney's Jungle Book, which I was told today released in 1967, your favorite character inevitably was Baloo, because he was the fun-loving guy. As a kid, you like that. But then when you grow older, your choices change. And then as an adult, you prefer a character like Bagheera because he represents certain responsibilities and values which reflect within you. So what's really nice is, I think, whichever stage of your life you watch this film or read the story, there's something for each and every age group to take away from. There are a great sense of values, morals, principles, life's learnings and teachings that you can imbibe and take away. So I think that's why this story keeps getting retold. Having said that, I think Mowgli is the most accurate telling to Kipling's story. I think the rest have been, there have been certain liberties that have been taken to make it more possibly child-friendly. I think Mr. Serkis's version is most honest and true to the original script that Rudyard Kipling had written. Having said that, I think you realize that there's a lot more depth in the story. So I think you realize that there's so much more depth and layering to this story than what we initially thought when we saw it as children. And I think this representation of the story is most accurate of that, and that's why it appeals across time.
The roles that I've played normally, which has been, completely different to what Kaa's character required, I think I enjoyed this a lot more because I found her voice very, very powerful, very, very, it had to be slightly hypnotic, because she kind of hypnotizes Mowgli in a way to take his decision, and shows him the way, to his journey, the path. So obviously it's slightly hypnotic, slightly seductive, very, very powerful. I felt like when I was dubbing, I felt like, I was like on stage. I had to be slightly more theatrical. The voice had to sound like it wasn't me. So I actually enjoyed doing it. When it was over, I was like, God, why weren't there more scenes?
I think it was great doing this because the actor who actually played the original character of the mother, Miss Harris, she did a brilliant job. And all I had to do was just use my voice and her expressions and just get the flow of it. It's a beautiful character. It's that of a mother who accepts Mowgli as a child. He's very different from their clan. He's a man cub. And yet she goes out, she's generous, she is loving, she's giving, and she accepts him as his own. And that was a wonderful thing, I think, which is needed in the world today. People are different, and you need to embrace something that's different, and that's what she does. And I enjoyed playing her, because she was beautiful, she's ferocious, she will protect her man cub right here at every cost. And I just loved and enjoyed playing her.
The beautiful part about this Mowgli adaptation, and I don't know if everyone has seen it, is really what Andy does. It's an ode to India. I remember him telling me before, I think it was before I left for South Africa, that he wanted to do my parts in Hindi and he wanted to attempt it and go down that route. And for all of us who remember on Doordarshan, we'd watch Jungle Book every Sunday. And there's so much of the human life in the village that was captured in that version, and I have not seen that version anywhere else, in any other adaptation. So for me to go to South Africa and actually work with fellow actors, all speaking in Hindi, all enjoying a kind of a version of the Holi festival, singing a lullaby written and composed by Nitin Sawhney. All of those beautiful things that I associate with India came to life in this movie. So yeah, very grateful to Andy for letting me speak in Hindi in this film.